School safety, a 10-year plan, and a close look at solid waste on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, January 7th, 2013. I'm Sarah Colvin. Three Bays Preservation is hoping to make repairs to the front beach at Dead Neck. This week, the Conservation Commission will hear Three Bays' plan to remove several hundred feet of Sampson's Island to use as nourishment for Dead Neck. The goal, to help manage and maintain the barrier beach and enhance the wildlife habitat. The Conservation Commission meets tomorrow, that's Tuesday, January 8th at 6:30 in the Selectmen's Conference Room. Town Manager Tom Lynch is working with the Finance Department and other leaders to craft the 10-year forecast, expected to be complete by week's end. Lynch sat down with us on Barnstable this morning earlier today to give an overview of the document. Lynch says while it's very tricky to predict what will happen in the next decade, the 10-year forecast is nonetheless an excellent planning tool.
I think anyone can understand that projecting out 10 years as to where our finances will be is a very difficult task. And when you look at what's happened in this past year, where we've had the governor looking at his budget and saying, gee, our revenues haven't come in this year that we expect, we might have to make cuts, and we have the federal issues with the fiscal cliff and spending cuts coming up, that to really project where all of those revenues are going to go is very difficult. But it's a very useful exercise for our finance department, for the administrative staff, because we get to try to look at which revenues are the strongest, where our expenditures are, where we think they might be in 10 years, and really more help with certain strategic issues that we might want to put together. So in the past, residents may require that we've taken certain steps within the budget to take care of unfunded pension liability or unfunded health care issues that are out there. And I say that somewhat in jest because I'm sure they're not all studying the budget every minute to decide what they're going to do. But those are the sorts of things that 5 years ago we were looking at to say, what's a major liability that's going to be confronting the town? We know that there are other issues out there, infrastructure issues that we might be looking at, that again, we'd want to be saying, are we going to have the revenues to support a capital program or to support some of the other issues that are out there. So
Lynch says this week he's not only working on the 10-year forecast, but also doing some work on the town's capital budget for fiscal 14. Stay tuned for details as that portion of the budget comes together. Meanwhile, school safety remains a focus for our town leaders. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mary Chakowski, discussed that topic with Town Manager Tom Lynch, Chief of Police Paul McDonald, and others over the holiday break.
The Sandy Hook tragedy, we've been meeting ongoing discussions with our principals, our parents, and our staff. But on December 27th, I had a meeting with the police chief, the town manager, our deputy director of finance, and our director of facilities, just to really talk about what are the protocols that have been used and continue to be used, and how are we dealing with the lockdowns in each of our schools as well. And, this is something that prior to my arrival, Barnstable High School was the only school entrance that was not secured. And they did have a teacher stationed there, and any visitor coming in would have to sign in. However, when teachers are relieved of their duties, sometimes in between, there's a period of time when there's no one there. So I felt strongly, and I spoke with Patrick Clark about it as well, that we're at a point where we need to secure that entrance. So over the holidays, our director of facilities working with the high school administration to make sure it's wired and we have cameras. It's still in the process. We had to order a special camera because of the way the school is situated in that entrance specifically, but that high school is now going to be secured with a buzzer system similar to all of our other schools that have buzzer systems in there.
Dr. Chakowski has praise for the Adopt a School program, which came back last year after an absence. The program places police officers in our schools.
But in addition to that, I commend the Barnstable Police Department and the chief for being proactive in implementing an Adopt a School program. I know it was brought back a year ago this January when I came on board. The chief approached me, and he had some funding to implement that program. And what it is we have a police officer, assigned police officer, that is in uniform, armed, and is in each of our schools, K through 7, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours per week. And it's more to establish a relationship with students and to have a presence in the building as well. And the chief we talked about at the December 27th meeting, extending those hours. Currently it's 4 to 6 hours per week. We're looking to extend those hours to 8 to 12 hours per week.
Dr. Chakowski says overall she feels confident the Barnstable schools are safe.
I think that our schools are very, very secure in how people are trained. We're trained in lockdowns. We're trained the police are trained in intruder drills, and I think, you know, more than anything, one of the things that we talked about with our administrators is everybody needs to have a presence, and not only a presence but an awareness of their surroundings. So if they feel that somebody is not acting appropriately, if they feel that there's something that's just not, you know, not in order, they need to be aware of the surroundings and be able to tell somebody about that. You know, even if it's nothing. I think it's creating this awareness of the being around in school, whether it's a student needing help, a staff member needing help, somebody from the outside, a parent that's upset. I think it's really, really important that people have more of an awareness of their surroundings and that they communicate if they think something is not, I don't know, you know, I don't want to use the word normal, but something that is not in order, something that is out of the ordinary.
We can expect to see some changes at the high school this month. In other school-related news, the school committee meets this week. Dr. Chakowski will outline her goals for the coming year. The committee will also talk about the revised meeting schedule and discuss a project to replace bathroom stalls. The committee could go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining strategy. The school committee meets tomorrow night at 7 in the town hall hearing room. That meeting will air live on Channel 18. As the town prepares for possible changes in the way in which we get rid of our solid waste, the town council is preparing to be better informed. This month, Energy Coordinator Richard Elrick says councilors will listen to a presentation regarding the town's transfer station.
Mark Ells, I think, will be doing the presentation along with Bob Lovell from the Solid Waste Division. And my understanding is the purpose of this presentation is primarily to give the town council an update on the Solid Waste Division, you know, what the budget is, what the issues are concerning CMAS contract expiration. I don't know how much the workshop is going to get into the Renewable Energy Commission's recommendations with respect to pay-as-you-throw, either for the curbside or for the transfer station. I would assume that there will be some discussion about those issues, but the primary goal is really just to get the town council completely up to speed on the status quo, so they can better understand how they want to proceed moving forward.
Elrick says he plans to attend the meeting and feels it will be very informational for councilors.
And I certainly will be in attendance. I know other members of the Renewable Energy Commission will be there as well, and if the council has any questions about the recommendations, certainly members of REC will be there to answer those questions. But you know, timing is important here. I'm assuming once the Solid Waste Division workshop is concluded, that there'll be some real action on the part of the council moving forward, whether or not it's decide to do pay-as-you-throw or not. But the contract with CMAS will be expiring at the end of 2014. Budgets have to be prepared. So there's work to do, and I know that there's at least several councilors that are interested, certainly, and enthusiastic about some of the recommendations that REC made. But we'll see how it plays out.
That presentation on January 31st. News from the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority. Effective January 12th, the RTA will be replacing its 20-day pass with a monthly 31-day pass, which gives passengers unlimited riding privileges over those 31 days. The pass is available for $60, $30 for seniors and disabled riders. The new pass program is expected to make it easier for all to ride the RTA's buses. The new monthly pass is only available on the RTA's fixed route buses and does not affect dial-a-ride transportation. Finally, the Barnstable Recreation Commission gathers for its first meeting of 2013 tonight. On the agenda, reports from the HYCC and Leisure Services Recreation, an update on the Barnstable Dog Park, an update on the Marston's Mills Fields, and more. The group gathers at 5:30 at Town Hall in the Selectmen's Conference Room. You can view the full agenda online at the town's website. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.